Alright, that's the end of Ice. We are now moving into Wind, starting with the one
So,
cost
real quick, I probably got to get going, unfortunately. Sorry about that. It's been a lot of fun, though. I really do enjoy it. I love talking cardboard, so...
No worries. Thank you for coming. Hope everything's alright.
Yeah. I've just got to start doing dinner and some other stuff going on, so...
Well, if we're still going and you want to come back in, just let me know.
Will do. Good luck. I'll probably be listening if I can, so...
Yeah. Also, you guys haven't checked out Ghoul on YouTube or on Twitch, please do so. I don't know if you're in the chat for me to shout you out.
I have it open, but yeah. Later, thank you for having me.
Alright, take care. Alright, Asura. Get back to the right tab. Activate all forwards you control until end of turn. All forwards you control gain this forward cannot be returned to its owner's hand by your opponent's summons or abilities. And the power of forwards cannot be decreased by your opponent's summons or abilities. We're seeing a lot of bounce in the current meta. Wind. The problem is this doesn't generate resource for Wind. It is a tech card. It could be a one-of, but I think most Wind decks want that immediate return of activating your backups to just play stuff again, play more, go into the storm count method. It's just, I think it's really good protection. I just don't think Wind wants to use it. That being said, there are a lot of Wind decks out there that aren't Storm that I think would run this. What do you think?
I was just like a theory hit me, and I could be wrong through the roof here. But Adele, the new one that's coming up soon, Adele tap activate all your Wind characters, then go off, Asura, untap the Adele, untapping all your backups again. Lulu, getting the Asura back, doing that all again. I think you get close to 8 casts with just 3 or 4 cards.
So you're thinking the Asura with that Allure in the Storm deck would be the way to go?
No, with Adele.
With Adele, sorry. But then that then goes to the case where you're running this card. You're not running this card to protect from the bounce effects anymore. You're running it for the Storm, where I think it's more prevalent because you still got the other Asura that does the untap, which I think would be better than this because it's module.
Does the other Asura, is it Wind character? Hang on.
The other Asura, I believe, is untap 2 forwards or untap all your backups, and then it has a third mode, which is return a 2 cost or less forward from your bin to hand.
Yeah, Asura is choose 2 forwards or 5 backups. I think that this one might be played over that one just because... Well, it really depends on how you're going to set it out, because I think the Adele is very, very strong. I think the Adele is what mono Wind after Thea is kind of lacking.
Yeah.
So I think that the fact that you can practically untap your full board more than once is the thing here that I think is going to be good. Plus, it does give you that extra added protection over water. Now, this card doesn't say anything other than activate all your forwards, screw you water. Because no other really color bounces stuff and no other really color decreases your opponent.
Yeah.
So it's just activate thing, but I want to see if Mono Wind is going to choose this Asura. But here's the thing, why not just run both?
Yeah, that is valid. That's the thing
you have now, how many can you? 3. So you have now 6 possible chances to hit an Asura that says activate everything.
Yeah, I just think the other one is still going to be more important because it brings back Luso from within.
I'm sure there's other ways of finding the Luso though.
Alright, we got, speaking of the devil, 3 cost Adele, haste, 0, activate all the Wind characters other than Adele you control. Adele will not activate during your next active phase. You can only do this ability while Adele is attacking and only once per turn.
Okay, then
I was going to say that restriction.
Yeah, okay, then that's kind of just stops it.
Yeah.
I still think it's still going to be a very playable card, no matter what.
Yeah, that restriction just hurts me. I didn't know about that restriction on the Adele.
I played it today, and I because I wasn't running. Oh, I was running the show. I just never hit that. I never actually read the card enough to.
Yeah, sometimes you run the cards, but you just don't get to them. You never see them in the entire pre-release.
It was a one-of in the deck.
Yeah.
I still think it is a very playable card. I think that it is going to be one of the key things of Wind. The fact that it has haste means they want you to attack, activate everything, do it all again. You activate Atomos again. There's a lot of potential with this card.
Maybe I haven't touched Wind in a while, so I'll have to see what the latest Wind looks like. But my worry is you attack, you do the trick, you get all the synergy, you get the Storm count for Luso, but then they just block this with something bigger. You got your Luso, but you lost an Adele to it, and you can't repeat the process.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
That would be my worry with this, with being an attack trigger. Also, it's amiable. But so is everything else in Wind, so
that's not amiable. That ability, Adele's ability, is an amiable.
Oh no, it's not. It's an activated. Yeah. No,
activated.
I rescind that. No, it is an activated. Sorry, I'm used the attack while Adele is attacking got me there, and it's a full art. 2-cost Jawn, backup. Dull. Choose one forward of cost 3 or less until end of turn. It gains plus 1k power, and if this forward is dealt damage by opponent's abilities, the damage becomes 0 instead. I think it's just a cute backup. It does a fun job. It's interesting, but
it's searchable off of Sarah.
Searchable, yeah, but
so like Water Wind maybe might make a thing because you can Sarah into Journey, but I don't know. I'm out of my comfort zone talking about Wind.
Yeah, Water Wind I think has enough other ways to search out backups and build it has the Soiree package technically if you go that way for multicolor depending on the colors you're going for. It has the Sky Pirates Water Wind, which gets you the Philo, which is both water and wind, so I think that cycle is better. There is Jern and I forgot the other one is cycle as well for searching up backups. I don't know, I think Water Wind has enough that probably gets put maybe 3rd or 4th on the list.
At least it doesn't break itself when it taps.
No, I will give it that. And 3-cost is the number to beat right now.
I still think it has its place.
All right.
I think it can be used still.
Okay, well again, I'm usually wrong and I'm happy to be proven wrong. Speaking of Spy Pirates, I can't script this. 4-cost Varn, forward 8k. When Varn enters the field or attacks, gain a crystal. Pay to crystal, deal 4k damage to all forwards opponent control. Life of Crime special during this turn. If Varn deals damage to a forward, double the damage instead. I can't get past the hybrid Varn over this, even in a crystal deck.
The hybrid one, the Fire Wind one?
No. The Fire Water one. You're thinking Zidane. You're thinking Zidane.
No, I'm not.
No, there's a Fire Wind Varn?
You use it in walls, don't you? Yeah, you use it in walls.
Oh, right.
Activate all your backups.
Activate the backups or deal 5k to something. That's a joke. Yeah. That's a joke, Varn, more than anything. But
okay, yeah. That's the only. But you're talking about the legend one.
Yeah, the Sky Pirate Searcher, the Sky Pirate Enabler. I think that one wins in terms of the tiers of Varns.
Yeah, I mean with all that, all the 7-drop one that reduces for every wind character you control. Yeah, that goes in Sky Pirate, Sky Pirate Storm.
It goes in Storm, I think, as well in general. But yeah, I'm not too hot on this one. It's a common, so we can't expect much from it.
I know Twyla's cooking up something with it, but that's just me linking Twyla.
That'd be cool to see. 2-cost Venet, backup, Wind, Dull. Put Venet into the break zone, choose one summon, cancel its effects. Wind to generic Dull, put Venet into the break zone, search for one card named Venet and play it onto the field. You can only use this ability during your turn. I think any summon cancel is really good. Wind hasn't had one, I don't believe, as far as I can remember.
Has an ability cancel. I don't know if yeah, it does have a summon cancel. Opus 5 Yashola is that auto ability, or is that also summon?
That's summon or automated. I was talking about backup wise, but yeah. Yashola does this better, but yeah. I don't see the point of it breaking itself to search for itself. Unless there's another Venet that's really
There
cool.
is. We will see it at the end of this. It's the light one.
Oh, right. You pop this to search the light one.
I still think searching... I don't know if it's going to have its place. I might test it in the Little Boys deck. Because it's going to be able to search out... It's going to be able to generate the crystals for the water ones, but... Yeah. I'm not sure yet. It is Final Fantasy 14 as well. I don't know if that's relevant, but it is a 14 card.
I think having an extra summon cancel is really good, and most of the times in Wind you might have all your backups untapped. You've either stormed and untapped them or stormed and won. So it could be just really good to protect your stuff. You also might want to just use this if you have the 2 backups up and up to just go, cool, Luso, do you have the Ami? Well, I don't care. Venet.
Yeah, you've also got the Luso from this set that plays the Venet onto the field as well.
Yes, which we'll get to soon. 2-cost Silver Dragon. If you control 2 or more monsters, Silver Dragon also becomes a forward of 9k power. Monsters other than Silver Dragon you control cannot be chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities. It's a 2-cost searchable monster that protects all your other monsters. I think
you're really never going to search this over Animos first, though.
You're never going to search it over Animos, but you search this to protect the Animos.
Yeah,
like
if I had to give it a 1 to 5, I'd probably give it like a 3. I think that it's a good card, but because it doesn't protect itself, it just dies and.
But it's still a lure. The only issue I have is, again, it might not make the list.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, you're always going to choose Animos over it.
Yeah, and when you're building that monster list with all the monsters we have, all the cool new stuff we have, I just feel this gets not even put into this. It gets cut like in the early rounds of trimming the deck down.
Though with, like, I'm gonna make a massive call here. You can clip it, prove me wrong in a year's time. There's going to be a deck list that is literally 3 realms, 3 ladies of the forest. 30-something monsters. Oh, and the stupid little Opus 9 guy that every time a monster field, draw a card. And then there's going to be 30 monsters with the backups. Like, that's all the deck's going to be. And I think it would work, unfortunately.
Maybe. That's, you're talking about Witch of the Fens?
Yeah.
Which we'll get to soon enough. 1-cost Sovia. Monster. Null, put Sovia and 1 monster into the break zone. Select one of the 2 following actions. Choose 1 forward or 5-cost or more, break it. Choose 1 monster, break it. I think this is the same weakness we discussed in the fire one. It's 2 for 1.
The only time you ever want to run this, in my opinion. Oh yes, Siren. That's another card I would definitely. You're breaking 2 monsters for the price of 1.
Yeah, it's what we discussed earlier. We'll just move on. Soldier Candidate, we'll just move on.
That one's relevant though, isn't it? I mean, it's just they can't be chosen by abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2-cost Tyro backup. When Tyro enters the field, choose 1 card in your break zone. If there are exactly 3 different elements among the backups you control, add it to your hand. Dull, put Tyro into the break zone, choose 1 forward. During this turn, the next damage dealt will become 0 instead. I think compared to the backups in Wind, this is weak. I mean, I don't think it's bad. It does some cool stuff. 3 different elements in break zone is not that hard to do, especially if you're running a 1-of 4-color wall and it's in your bin. I just feel this is not useful in its spot. And then there's the other Tyro, which you would never name clash because different colors, but if you were playing Earth Wind, you'd run the other one still.
I agree. I've heard some people talking about that this card has the potential for playability. But yet again, I don't think, because of the name clash, it with the other, you're never going to not run the Earth Tyro. in my opinion. Like, it's EX burst, go search out thing, and especially with the Luna Freya, which we'll get to soon. It's just, it won't happen. Also, the whole disappointing part about this card, if anyone disagrees with me, they're wrong. There's no full art for it.
Yeah, this is a beautiful art.
This and Dr. Mog, which is next, should have had a full art.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. It is a beautiful art. Yeah, it's a 0 cost backup. I guess it gets you any card in your break zone if you have the 3 elements. Yeah, there's not much I can say about that. And we've got Dr. Mog. When Dr. Mog enters the field, you may search for one job, Moogle, or card name Moogle, sorry, and add it to your hand. Dull, choose one job, Moogle, or card name Moogle other than Dr. Mog, activate it.
Fantastic card.
Yes.
It works with the stupid bloody search everything Mog.
Yeah, because you can dull it or use the special as well at the same time.
Oh yeah, use the special, untap it, do it again.
You also
Unless
can search.
that Mog specifies once a turn.
You could also technically search him out and play him. The problem I have is for 3.
It's
that
awkward.
For 3, which is awkward, I think, and also doesn't really. It gets you a summon to play, but at least the what's it called? The summon that does that does it for 2. So I don't think the 5k body is worth the extra 1.
Yeah, I can see that. I think that I look at it at the same thing as what I do with something like Pokemon, or even for having the ability to search out any card you want is such a powerful tool, and being able to Dr. Mog into the Opus 6 Moogle, and practically do that, or as Ghoul just said, it's Bird's Paradise. It taps for anything. Hypothetically taps for anything.
Oh, if you have the multicolored Moogles out, yeah. I don't think it's a straight Birds of Paradise. I don't think it's whatever you have more than a Birds of Paradise. I would see something like Tyro closer to Birds of Paradise. But yeah, no, I think it'll come down to whether the activation is worth the extra cost. Yeah, but problem with so Ghoul was just saying, if you have this in play, 4 that generates mana, the problem is your mana pool empties when you activate him. So it's not like something like Magic where you store your mana. So you'd have to use the tap, do something else. Oh, that's what you mean by yeah. But yeah, I think this is an interesting one. I will give it that. I really like the wording of this. It at least searches it out. It'll be whether this is better or worse than the summon Chocobo Mog or whatever it's called.
But there's no reason you can't run both.
The deck list, I think, is the restriction on that.
Yeah.
2-cost Ninja, backup, standard unit. When Ninja enters the field, choose one forward. It against this forward cannot be blocked by a forward of cost 3 or more until end of turn. If you control 5 or more backups or forwards you control gain this. Forward cannot be blocked by a forward of cost 3 or more until end of turn. I really don't like this card. 3 or more is not really a threshold anymore. There's so many wind backups in 2 costs that do so much better. The Chocolate.
I wish it said 2 or more, because then it would give you a reason to. It would give you an answer to like your 2-drop forward running through the 9k monsters for 2.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a card. I don't think. I think there's potential. It is another ninja as well, so it works with Yuffie and
Edge.
The wind card that we're getting in the set. We got in the set, the search for a job ninja.
Marine, yeah, when we get to
Yeah, Marina, yeah.
Null, warp 3 for 1 wind, haste first strike. Beginning of the attack phase, during each of your turns, remove 1 warp counter from Null for each category 13 character you control. This effect will only trigger if Null is removed from the game and if warp counters are placed on Null. I really like this card. I think it's a good warp. If you're playing the 13 package, you could easily get him out very early.
Well, you could potentially get him out turn 1.
Yeah, haste and first strike means he's relevant on turn 1. It enters at the start of the attack phase, so that haste is relevant.
I think that this is a step in the right direction for like branching out to other colors in 13.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be. I think we're gonna see a different version of the 13 deck, and this is gonna be in it.
Potentially could be lightning wind, which is not a color combination that's very.
Or fire
common.
wind, or there's multiple options.
Because I think lightning. Oh no, because Null shares a name. So
yeah, Null shares a name in the lightning one, which is why I'm going towards fire. But I think this has got some pretty cool, interesting stuff for the 13 deck, and I'd be interested to see a more aggressive aggro sort of wind deck out there.
I was going to say more aggressive 13 deck. I don't think you can get such a thing.
No, I didn't mean. I don't think we can beat the current starter deck one. And there's the full art. 3-cost Hope. When Hope enters the field, you may pay X. When you do so, search for one category of 13 character of cost X and play it onto the field. Dull. Remove Hope from the game at the beginning of your next main phase 1. Play Hope onto the field. You can only use this ability during your turn. My deck is my hand is not usually a bad thing. And again, if we're talking about the 13 deck, pay 5 to search up the other Hope that we just saw, the Null. Pay 2 to search up the lightning to start doing your shenanigans. I think this has potential. I think the 13 deck has some interesting fun stuff that they can do now in wind.
I know we're about to find this out as well. I wish they gave us the 13 searches. I know they gave us one in lightning because I used it today. But I wish they gave us the 13 searches to complement the deck. I know that there is older ones in like Opus 1 or 2 or around that era, but like people like me that have been playing that long, we don't really have access to them. So I would have liked to see some searches for the Cat 13 Wind, or like some backup in Wind to play it.
Yeah. I still think this is just going to be interesting. I'm curious to see if this does make it, or if the current Lightning Fire one is just so dominant that it overshadows this.
I think the ability to every turn get a 13 character out is fantastic, and I think that the question you've got to ask is this better than the other Hope, the Lightning one that does search out things? And I think the answer is yes, because you can do it every turn. It's just not once a turn. But it's just a wait and see, like every other card in the second.
Well, the problem is because he returns at the beginning of your next main phase 1, he re-enters with Summoning Sickness. So it's every second turn.
Yeah, so it might be a bit slower.
Yeah. That's where that's the next part I was getting to there. Yeah, he's restricted by the fact that he's not Flicker immediately. He enters at the start of your main phase 1. He has Summoning Sickness. You get the search. You have to wait till your next turn, flicker him again. So yeah, it's repeatable, but it's slow. And again, I'm not really against lures. So if they see this as a threat, they see this as a threat. But even doing it once just to get the 2-cost lightning to start doing shenanigans, I think that alone is really good for 5.
Yeah.
Got the full art. Main, 4-cost EX. When main enters the field, you may search for one job ninja or card name ninja and add it to your hand. Dull a total of 2 job ninjas or card name ninjas. Choose one job ninja, card name ninja. It gains this character cannot be chosen by opponents' summons or abilities until end of turn. 7k forward. I like the protection. I like that it's a forward, but I still can't get past the other backup main. I think it's the backup one.
Yeah, the Yuffie Searcher.
Yeah, the other one I think is significantly better. Well, not significantly, I think it's just better. You can have a close second with this, but I don't know. I can't get past the other one. I feel the other one is just better.
Yeah, I'm unsure on this card compared to the backup one. They do the same thing for, well, they practically do the same thing for one cheaper. This is a protection. This adds the protection though. But the main, well, in my opinion anyway, the main ninja is Yuffie, and the best version of Yuffie, in my opinion, protects itself anyway.
Yeah.
But the other part to that though is you play Mania and Mania Edge, and search out Edge or Yuffie with Mania. Tap Mania and Edge, give anything that target protection. Yuffie attacks, untaps them. You can do it during your opponent's turn again.
Well, you could also protect one of the things you tap with these two.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, you can protect whatever character you want, untap with Yuffie when Yuffie, the Opus 18 Legend Yuffie attacks, untap the Mania and, let's say, Edge or whatever other ninja, backup ninja, and then Yuffie swings, untaps the Mania.
Yuffie untaps forwards only, so it wouldn't untap.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I said Edge.
Yeah.
Or Onion Knight, because there's an Onion Knight ninja.
I'm just not a fan of keeping ninjas untapped in order to protect themselves. They should be attacking.
I mean, true, but you could also just do what I just said then, and attack with Mania, attack with Edge, attack with Yuffie, untap them.
If you don't have the Yuffie, you're sitting there going, do I want to attack or do I want to protect? And I don't think you want to be making that decision or that thought process in Ninja.
Yeah, I guess so. I think there's too many there's too many jobs named Ninja. You don't have to tap the Mania.
Yeah, maybe just swing in and keep the backups up.
Yeah.
2, Meteon. Backup. Dull. Put Meteon into the break zone. Activate all the backups you control. Draw one card. You can only use this ability if neither player controls forwards. I love this, but the restriction is so bad.
I think the restriction just makes it a little bit too hard to fulfill. There's, in the current meta, I can't see a deck. There's not many decks that say backup pass. Unless it's like the first 2 turns, but then you're normally also going either forward or backup pass. And you're not going to play the backup just to draw another card. So
even most control decks drop something out a few turns in.
I could see this as though play, let's say Tyro, play this card, pass the turn, play Tyro the next turn. If there's no forwards on the field, break this card, activate the Tyro because it's any color, draw a card, and then you can play whatever's in your hand with Tyro.
Yeah, but that's very specific. That's very on turn 2. I can't see it. I just can't see it.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't know this, but again, people have done weirder things with less.
Yeah, no, I agree. We could always see the brewmasters are very hard to predict. 2 cost Yuffie, 5k forward. When one or more job ninja card or card energy control deals damage to your opponent, draw a card. 2 wind, Yuffie gains. Yuffie cannot be blocked until end of turn. The main thing for this is, does this replace the other 2 cost Yuffie that's used on the special for the 5 cost Yuffie?
I believe so. I think this Yuffie won me a game today. Actually, it won me 2 games. It won me a game against you and one game against Lance.
But that's limited. I think this one does replace the other one, but it still doesn't beat the 5k Yuffie. Anything else you want to add?
I think that this is the second playable Yuffie. I think it does overtake the other, the Shuriken counter one.
Yeah. Dragoon Reprint, which we'll move on from. 5 cost Luso. When Luso enters the field, choose one character of cost 2 or less in your break zone, play it onto the field. Dull, put Luso into the break zone, choose one monster, break it. I love this thing because it can ramp you backups. It gets you something quick. You go from 1 backup, discard 2 cards, Dull, play this, 3 backups. My problem is even though it is breakable, so I will say that it is breakable, which is really good. The 1-cost Luso is the most main one in Wind. But if you're not playing the Storm, if you're not playing the Luso Storm, the fact that this is a 2-cost or less character of any color could get you your color fixing. If you're focused on Wind, you only got Wind in hand, you can't play your off-color backup. It's a 2-cost or less, you drop this, play it, set yourself up. I think this is really good, but it comes down to whether you're running the other Luso or not.
I do not like the fact that this is one of the only I'm going to use the word playable cards that has Choose a Monster, Break It in this set.
Yeah.
Like, I caught someone off guard today by breaking my Luso to Choose a Monster, Break It. But again, it's essentially a 3-cost because you play the character. I could see this working a lot with Zidane.
Yeah,
the 2-drop fire Wind one.
Yeah, because you can play it off color. That's what I was saying before. You can play off color stuff with it.
And maybe mana fixing, like just if you don't have a color in your hand, just play Luso and then grab it from the break zone. It's really good for backup recursion, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
Like EMO, you can run. It might be good in the EMO Storm deck. EMO for Wind Ice Storm, because then your opponent doesn't have any interaction for your Storm turn. You play the Luso, you play the EMO with the Luso from your break zone. Animos, untap both, break that Luso.
Well, you can't break, if you've played this Luso, you can't break him as a...
You Animos untap.
Yeah, but backups still have Summoning Sickness. They cannot use their activated abilities.
Even if they untap?
Even if they untap, you can only tap them for mana. That's the problem.
So you can tap them for mana if they untap, but you can't use their ability.
Yes, they still suffer Summoning Sickness. It's a weird rule, but it checks.
But if a forward gets haste, it can use its tap ability.
Yeah, so you have to find something that gives a backup haste.
That's confusing. I don't like that. I've been playing the game for that long and I didn't know that.
Yeah, so for example, Chocolate, if you play Chocolate and untap her, you can tap her to make mana, but you can't tap her to put the counter on her.
Okay, cool.
So,
good to know.
Yeah, so you can Storm with this, but it's also blocking the other Luso, which means you're storming with something else. Yeah. 3-cost General Leo, forward. If you control 3 or more characters of 2 or less, General Leo goes plus 2k power, and General Leo cannot be chosen by opponent's summons or abilities. When General Leo enters the field, you may play 1 character of 2 costs or less from your hand onto the field. 7k forward. It's cool, it cheats stuff in, but I still like the other General Leo, the fire, can't cast summon one better.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah,
I like
that
the other one better.
And even the other one barely sees play, so I don't see this one seeing play. I don't know if there is a deck that in Wind, Earth that wants to cheat stuff. The fact that it cheats it plays it onto the field means that you're not casting it, which does not work with Storm.
This could be the start of the like I'm speaking like way out of meta here though. This could be the start of the crystal package for Wind though, because you could play the Warrior of Light DFF, play the General Leo, play the Zidane. That's 3 crystals in a turn for 5 mana.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, that has to, if that deck reaches a pinnacle or becomes viable, yeah.
Like our whole job here to give a set review is to come up with the crazy things, and I could honestly see the Warrior of Light into General Leo, playing Zidane, ripping cards out of your opponent's hand, and then you have like the Titus, you have the Barts from 16 to help with crystals.
The issue with that is there's a card that does that that's in Ice, and Ice is more prevalent because you can use it to cast your Gilgamesh. And that's
but we're talking about the hypothetically of
yeah.
playing General Leo.
Yeah.
I like that DFF is becoming more relevant because my brain's like, oh, I have the DFF cards. I can definitely play these a lot more. Like, I can definitely try and build something around DFF.
Yeah, I'd like to see a DFF deck. I'll be honest, I would like to see a DFF.
I built the Mono Ice DFF deck. It worked alright.
Alright, that is the end of Wind, and we are starting our Earth.